Hey guys, if you're using Claude like ChatGPT, you're making a huge mistake that's costing you 80% of its power. I've spent 6 months testing every feature, and what I've discovered will completely change how you use AI. Hey guys, so I'm Giuseppe, I'm with AI Business Lab, and I've tested every major AI assistant for the past year, helping over 100 different businesses implement AI into their standard workflow. The next 10 minutes, I'm gonna show you the complete Claude system that's saving my clients 15 plus hours a week, including the 3 advanced features most people don't even know exist. Plus, stick around and I'll give you a free Claude prompt library that took me months to develop. You get it for free right off the bat. Let's dive in. If you want to know what some of the bigger differences are, I was able to pull up this table here and you can get a better feeling for kind of the direction that Claude is going in and compared to ChatGPT and how they're studying things. So if you look here, you have Claude, and over here you have ChatGPT 4. Okay. So if you look at these two areas, okay, agentic coding, and then you have multilingual Q&A, visual reasoning, high school math competition. Now, if you look over here at, here's OpenAI, here's ChatGPT, okay, and here's Claude Opus 4 and Sonnet 4. Now, once you get into looking at this, you can see this is kind of the area that Claude wants to go in, okay? Claude uses a lot more tokens, and it's better at reasoning and nuance and understanding, okay? It's more reliable for business critical tasks, and this is why it's winning the AI race when it comes to the business side, okay? For agentic coding, which is like coding, as an agent. See here, OpenAI, 54%, but whereas Opus 4 and even Sonnet 4, 80%. And that's like the easier one, 72%, 72.7%. You come down here, terminal coding, 30%, 41%. Visual reasoning tied. So, this is where OpenAI is kind of leaning into. This is where they're going to go. They kind of want to lean into just helping the more like standard, high school student or something like that kind of get through, have a look at images, do some math, whatever, that's fine. So if you're looking at being, more on the business critical side, you'll see here that Claude Code is where you want to be. Okay, so here's some additional core features that people will often find pretty handy when it comes to Claude 4 specifically. What we're going to look at here is an easy way to upload and analyze PDFs, spreadsheets, or images. The story here is a lot of times there'll be a business partner or someone that I'm working with, and they're like, hey, you know what? Could you help me do a bunch of research? I need to understand sort of what's going on with my industry or what I need to do, or if there's some information out there. I'll be like, yeah, sure, no problem. Let's get a bunch together and I'll get you a little report so that way you can make some better decisions for your business moving forward, right? That's the idea here is we're able to synthesize a lot of information and we're able to do it in a trustworthy way, right? Sometimes ChatGPT or these other ones, or even Claude, if you don't set it up properly, okay, what'll happen is you'll ask for something and it'll make up references, it'll make up information. It's not super trustworthy. And when it comes to really important information and research, you have to make sure that you're getting, not garbage in, garbage out. You have to be doing the best you can for this. So I'll show you a little bit about what you can do here. So here's, I just made a little folder here. It's really basic, okay? Just open folder. We have Claude Code open here. I'll make it a little larger. So, I can go into this folder, into this video test here, this thing I made just for us. So I'm gonna go /video-test. Now we're in this, okay? So you see this is empty. Now, let's say a client of mine is in the shipping industry and they want, some hard information so they can have a look through it. Ocean freight market update. Okay, so here's this. So I'm going to download it and I'm going to put it right into, just save that. Now I'm going to pull up this here and I'm just going to drag and drop this PDF into the video drive. Okay, I'm going to say, okay, now I'm going to open up Claude. Yes, proceed. So now Claude is in this video test and they has this PDF. So I'm going to go, you are helping me analyze a PDF and break it down into the most important parts for my CEO of a shipping company. Have a look in the folder and let's get started. We're just going to do it super simple. Sorry, that was a little bit out of the way. I'll bring it over here. So what this is saying is it doesn't have the proper tools to check it out because it's a PDF. So because it's having a tough time reading things, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come into here and click Control All, Control Copy, and I'm going to just paste the entire thing into there. So that way it has a better chance to read it. So I'm just going to put it right into there. Now it's going to review it. There you go, extracting key strategic insights. And you can see what its to-do list is here. Extract key market trends, analyze freight rate changes, identify supply chain challenges, summarize regulatory political impacts, compile strategic recommendations and actionable insights. So now that this is created, we have some opportunity to have a little bit of fun, and we can showcase how Claude responds really well to conversational type prompts. The goal of this and what they've done is they've made it so that way you can give it very simple prompts and it will extrapolate the best version of what you've asked for it to do and give that back to you. So if you have a look here, I know it looks a little small. It just kind of is what it is. I'm making it as big as I can, but freight market recovery. So here's this: major cost pressures, political and regulatory impacts, workforce and operational challenges, strategic recommendations. So now that we have this, I'm going to say, look, hey, I really like the work you've done here. Could you make this into something I could easily present to the boss? Could you make this into a web page that I could view locally? Have it look like slides that I can copy and paste. So the next thing we're just going to cover here, because we're doing a full Claude tutorial, is something that I discovered kind of by accident when I was streamlining some consulting processes. So instead of using multiple tools, I just kind of built everything within Claude. There's a three-step system. So three-step system: context setting, how to properly brief Claude for your industry, right? Iterative refinement, building on responses for better outputs, template creation, saving successful prompts for repeated use. So all this is every time we go into this project, we want to make sure that we're creating something similar, and that way we can slowly refine what we're building to make it easier to build, on brand things for us every time we get into here. That's the idea. So I'm going to say, hey, I really liked what you did there. Could you make this a little easier to read and keep it very professional? So it's saying now, oh, it wasn't easy enough to read and maybe it wasn't professional enough. So it's going to iterate on it again. It's going to make a slight change to it. There you go. Okay. And now we're going to say, to make this something consistent, all right, I love what we did here. We're going to ask it, I want you to make a standard operating practice as a file in this folder to review every time we come back to this. Now this is actually going to take us to the next step. This is helping us set context, and this is called iterative refinement. Okay, it's template creation. It's making sure it knows exactly how we like our information output. And this way it's giving us more context. We can even go above and beyond this, but for the sake of just getting comfortable with this, as you can see, if you can think through this, what else you'd have to do. I would include information about your business and put it on there. I'd include your logo as an image, put it in the folder. And then that way, every time Claude comes back to make something for your business, it's looking at the same data and it's able to use that to create the different slides, folders, presentations, or research, whatever you happen to be looking for. So this is a SOP, executive format, presentation creation. So every time it goes back into there and it does something, that's what it's going to do. It's going to look at that, okay? Now, for this final section, I want to do a common mistakes. The one mistake is treating it like a search engine. Okay, this isn't Google. This is an LLM. Now, I'm sure you've been onto some stuff. Like there's some sites I really like that'll do searches for you, like Perplexity. Okay, this is a really good tool for like doing a lot of searches and getting all the information down in one place. Claude is not that, but if you're really excited about that, you can add Perplexity as what's called an MCP. It's kind of like a bolt-on tool, helps it work a little better with stuff. So you can say, hey, could you add a Perplexity MCP so that we can gather searches in the future, right? So even though this Claude itself is not a search engine and it's not going to be replacing Google, you can give it these extra add-on tools like what are known as MCPs, right? Perplexity web searches, you need to install MCP on your system, configure it with Perplexity API credentials, and restart Claude to make it available. So Perplexity has an API. You go into your account, you look at, where is it? My account. And then you go into here, API group, API members, and then you can add members and you can make an API out of this. If you guys drop a like, comment, subscribe that you guys want to see how to add Perplexity and that search API into Claude so you can use it to do a little bit more research without doing it yourself, let me know in the comments. I'll happily make another video for you to really help you out with this. I have no problem whatsoever. But let's get on to the next mistake that people often make with this. And it's referencing past conversations. Now, as you can see here, if we go all the way back to the top of this, okay, this is one conversation. It doesn't know any other conversations that we've had. So if you're like, hey, what did we talk about yesterday? I want to continue that. It's not going to know, right? So what I do as a solution is I'll go in here and say, okay, I want you to create a file within this folder that summarizes everything that we've done today and what we're going to do tomorrow. Everything that we've done today for your reference in the future. So Claude doesn't know by itself what conversation you've had the other day. We're opening it up into a folder system, and that folder system is going to be all of the context that it gets. So if you want it to remember the conversation you had yesterday, just ask it, hey, I'm going to be closing you down. Take notes, make a file of everything that we did so that way we can come back to this tomorrow and just have it be good to go. And this is how you do that. It's a quick command. It doesn't take a lot of tokens. You can see here it's taken 40 seconds, 32 seconds, and it's going to make something, okay? There you go. I wrote something called sessionsummary.md. Let's have a look. We go date modified session summary. So when we come back and we open this again, say, hey, could you have a look at the session summary? And let's get it, let's talk about that. All right, so this is kind of the end of it. If you stayed this long, thank you so much. I'm just going to do a quick key takeaway summary for you guys so you guys can come back to this or maybe just be at the end and have a look at whatever you need to know. Okay, 1, remember that chatbot, that Claude isn't just another chatbot. It's a thinking partner that gets better with the more context you give it. Start with these 4 core features, avoid the 3 common mistakes, and you'll see why my clients call this their business's secret weapon, okay? Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be creating a free prompt library. The link will be in the description with some of the main stuff we talked about here. You can copy it and make your own version, so that way you can come in here and kind of just grab it and use it whenever you want. That's no problem. And if you found this helpful, please watch another one of the videos that I made here. It goes a really long way for the YouTube algorithm, and it helps me a lot. Anyways, if this is something you're curious, or if you have more questions, drop a like, comment, subscribe. My website is also down in there, and I'm more than happy to chat with you guys with whatever else you might want to dig into. Anyways, happy surfing. See you guys later.